Good morning. It is Friday, April 24th, and today our math lesson, we're going to be doing 12-3 in Envisions, and that's comparing decimals. Alrighty, so before we start, I just want to review our place value chart again. As we know, this side is typically what we always have seen, if you've seen since probably kindergarten. We have our ones column, our tens column, and our hundreds column. Over here we have a decimal point, and we have our tenths column, and we have our hundredths column. So if we put a number here, this would be 798 and 19 hundredths. Now, whenever we're thinking of decimals or fractions, remember it's part of a whole. And I like to compare fractions with decimals with money, because everyone's really familiar with money. So this would be $798, and then you'd have 19 cents. Now, we know that 19 cents isn't quite a dollar, right? You need 100 cents to make a dollar. So 19 cents would be part of $1. And if someone gave you money and you kind of kept adding money to your 19 cents and you got up to 99 cents, one more penny would be 100 cents. So that would be one whole, and then it would be 0, 0. All right, so comparing decimals. When we compare decimals, just like when we compare any numbers, we're going to be using greater than and less than equal to sign. When we compare, we're trying to figure out which is bigger and which is smaller. All right, so I drew my place value blocks. I did it first today. Yesterday, I had to do an example, and then I had to go back and draw it. So let's see what we have here. We're going to do the decimal and the fraction, but first we're going to just focus on the decimal for now. So if I count here how many spaces I have all together, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So one of those would be 1/10. Two of them would be 2/10. And in this case, we have 1, 2 colored. So that would be 2/10. Now we know we need our decimal point, and we're going to put our 2 in our 2/10 in our tens column. Now we can absolutely put a 0 in the ones. And a lot of time in the exercises, you're going to see that. That just means there's 0, there's nothing in the ones column. It's sort of like a placeholder. So here we have 2/10. Over here, let's look. So we know that if this is a hundredths block, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 going across. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 going up. So 10 times 10 is 100. So we know there's 100 little blocks on there. So I know that every row down, actually it's a column that goes down. So every column down would be 10. So my first column would be 10. My second column would be 20. And I have 21, 22, 23. So we have 23 hundredths, 23 hundredths. So I'm going to draw my decimal point and write 23 hundredths. Now, I want to compare these two numbers, and I want to see which is smaller, which is bigger. But now this one, it looks like 23, right, is bigger than 2. But are we comparing the same thing? It's like apples and oranges, right? We have to make sure we're comparing the same thing. So let's make these into fractions, and I think that'll be a little bit easier for you to see. So here we have 2/10. 2/10. So we're going to write 2/10. 2/10. And over here we have 23 hundredths. 23 hundredths. Now we know from our fractions unit, can we compare fractions that have different denominators? So in your head you should be thinking, or even out loud, go ahead, out loud at home, can we compare fractions that have different size denominators? And the answer is no. Because it would be like having a chocolate bar. Remember, we always compared everything to our chocolate bars? So here our chocolate bar has 10 parts to it. And I'm going to eat 2. So I've eaten 2 parts of the 10. So it's a chocolate bar with 10 pieces. This chocolate bar, same size chocolate bar, but this one's divided into 100 pieces. So are the pieces the same size as these pieces? No, they are not. This bigger, the smaller the number, the bigger the piece, remember. The smaller the number, the bigger the piece. So we have to kind of compare these the same. Now, I'll tell you, if I were to draw lines going across like this, could I turn this into 100th? Well, we know how to do that with fractions, right? To make an equivalent fraction, you can multiply the same number top and bottom, right, to get it. Now, if I want my new fraction to have 100 at the bottom, what can I do? 10 times what equals 100? 10 times what equals 100? 10 times, everyone? 10. I can hear you all from home. Okay, 10 times 10. So if I multiply 10 at the bottom, what do I have to do? I have to multiply, everyone, 10 at the top. 2 times 10 equals 20. Now, so my 2 tenths, get it? 2 tenths equals 20. So we can actually put a 0 in here, because 2 tenths is the same as 20 over 100, as 20 hundredths. It's the same. I could just draw my lines this way, and it would represent the same number of spaces on our place value blocks. So I'm going to erase. Well, I think maybe I'll just change the color here. So now, if I have, let me draw a line here so we can really see this. So 20 hundredths is blank then 23 hundredths. What do you think? 20 hundredths is blank then 23 hundredths. Think of money. I have 20 cents, you have 23 cents. Do I have less than you or more than you or equal to you? Yes, if you said I have less, you are correct. So 20 hundredths is less than 23 hundredths. All right, on to the next one. Same exact example, just different numbers. So we're gonna get our decimal, and we're gonna see what it turns out to be a fraction. All right, so here we know if it's tenths, what's gonna be our denominator? We've been doing this all week, right? What's our denominator? Without even having to count, we should know that it's going to be 10. But I'll count just to show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I don't want to write that just yet. So there's 10 spaces, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 tenths. 5 tenths. So it would be my decimal 5. Now, there are no whole numbers here. There's no other place value block that's colored in. So my whole number here would be a 0. So when you see that, don't get tricked by that. It's just like holding a spot. It's just there's nothing. There's 0 as a whole number. All right, let's go over here. We know that there's 100 blocks on this 100 block, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 whole columns colored, and then so it's 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. So we have our decimal point, 46. All right, same problem we had last time. This only has tenths and this has hundreds, 46 hundredths. So what are we gonna do? Well, there's a quick, short, easy way to do it, and there's a longer way. I'm gonna show you the longer way so the quick way makes sense to you. Because remember, shortcuts in math are not good unless you understand the long way behind it, right? All right, so if this is 5 tenths, if I were to say that out loud, 5 tenths, what's my fraction? 5 tenths. it's easier to write on this side of the board. 5/10. All right, over here we have 46 hundredths. 46 hundredths. So we're going to put 46 hundredths. All right, 5/10 and 46 hundredths. Can I compare fractions with different denominators? No, I cannot. I have to make them the same. So I want to make my 10 the same as this, right? I want to make it 100. I can't go backwards. I can't, because I can't divide evenly by 46. So I'm going to, let me get my different color so you can see it a little bit better. All right, to make an equivalent fraction, you multiply same number top and bottom. So 10 times what equals 100? 10 times, everyone, 10. Let me get my blue going here again. 10 times 10 is 100. I'm going to leave these uncapped for a moment. And then, remember, same number top and bottom, so I have to put a 10 up here as well. 5 times 10 equals 50. All right, now I can compare. 50 hundredths is blank than 46 hundredths. So 50 is greater than 46. Now 5/10, we can also add our 0 to show that 5/10 is equal to 50 hundredths. So 50 hundredths is greater than 46 hundredths. Alrighty, so now I have some examples towards the bottom with no pictures. Because first we do pictures, right, to really understand it, to get a visual, and you know I'm very visual, I like pictures. It makes sense to me to look at the pictures, and then we move on. So if you're stuck on this a little bit, stop the video here, rewind, and watch me do it again, okay? If you're good, so we can do like a fist to 5 like we would normally do in the classroom. If you're a 4 or a 5, so like right now everyone do a fist to 5 of what I just did. If you're a 4 or a 5, you can keep going. If you're a fist, 1, 2, or 3, stop the video, watch it again, up to this point. Alrighty, so we're going to compare 6/10 to 17 hundredths. Now, to make it really clear and easy for me to see, I'm going to add my 0 here. So now I have 60 hundredths compared to 17 hundredths. Think of money. 60 cents is bigger than 17 cents. So that's greater than. We have 83 hundredths comparing to 3/10. We're going to add our 0 to make this 30 hundredths. 83 hundredths compared to 30 hundredths. 83 cents is bigger than 30 cents. And we have 3 examples over here. 57. Hope my head's not being cut off. I don't know. I don't have a cameraman and I can't do it like selfie way because everything is all backwards then. So I have to do it, so I'm just looking at the back of the camera. Hopefully my head's not being cut off. 53 cents compared to 3 cents. 57 cents, 57 cents compared to 3 cents. So 57 hundredths is greater than 3 hundredths. 72 hundredths compared to 81 hundredths. 72 cents is less than 81. Now we have our 4/10. We're going to add our 0. So we have 40 cents or 40 hundredths as compared to 39 hundredths. 40 is greater than 39. So this was lesson 12.3, comparing decimals. I am glad everyone here. Oh, a big shout out to Ariana. She wrote a really nice message under yesterday's math lesson. So I'm glad someone's watching it. So send me a message so I know you got it. All right, everyone. Miss you. Love you. Bye.